Carter. I'm the Director of Education and Outreach for Charleston Jazz. We're here today with a good friend of ours, Miss Cameron Handel. Thanks for joining us today, Cameron.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is fun.
Cameron's a wonderful musician, educator, pedagogue in the Charleston area, and we're going to learn a lot more about her today and the things that she offers to the Charleston area. So, Miss Handel, without further ado, can you just tell us a little bit about your musical background? Where'd you come from, your experiences, how you got here?
Sure. Well, I came from right here in Charleston. I grew up here and went through the band programs at Lang Middle School and Wando High School. And then I went to University of Georgia, studied classical music with Fred Mills. He's one of the founding members of the Canadian Brass. I did about 2 years there and then decided to take an audition for a Broadway show called Blast. It's basically what Riverdance does for Irish dancing on the stage, Blast does for marching band on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And that from there, I was there for a while and kind of worked my way up in the company and worked my way up to a feature soloist spot. And it was just basically the best education musically I could have gotten. And just having that pressure every night. And I met my husband there. He's a drummer. And so then after that, I came back to the College of Charleston. They didn't really offer classical trumpet, but I had already done 2 years of music, and I knew they had a jazz program, which I knew nothing about. So I was like, oh, I'll just do this jazz thing, I guess. How hard could it be? And had no idea what I was getting myself into. I was used to being pretty high on the totem pole with playing wise, and then I was just like, bam, the worst one for years. But I'm so glad I did it. I learned a lot. I'm still learning, and I can't imagine my life without jazz. And then I went back and did some more blast, and then a quick timeline. Then I auditioned for a spot in Michael Bolton's band. I'm sure whoever's listening to this that goes to the Jazz Academy has no idea who Michael Bolton is, but he's a famous singer from the 90s. But I got to see the world with him, so that was awesome.
Oh, I love it.
I had to learn how to play some pop, some rock, and then I got pregnant, and I'm here in Charleston teaching and playing, and here we are today.
You have some sweet babies.
Yes, they are 4 and 5 right now, so it's a little crazy.
I bet, especially during this crazy time right now.
Mm-hmm. But it's fun.
So what are you doing now? Like, what are some of your projects now? You may not be doing anything. I don't know. You might be in-house resting, but are you planning for anything? Do you have anything coming up? What's on the radar?
Well, I have I have my own band called Cameron and Saltwater Brass, and I was just trying to get that up and off the ground, and then Corona hit. But hope to keep going with that. Hope to get into some music festivals with that group. I was playing with the CJO, having a great time with them, learning a lot. Subbing occasionally with the symphony. I play with the symphony about once a year. And then I teach, have a private studio. So I'm right now just teaching FaceTime lessons and trying to keep my chops in shape without the gigs, doing what I can. But let's see, I'm trying to make myself, hold myself accountable by doing, like Marcus Printup held some sort of blues challenge. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make myself do it. And then I posted it, and, it wasn't the best, but I'm trying to do things that are uncomfortable so I don't completely lose my chops.
So you're not just complacent, right? You're moving forward. You're trying to challenge yourself. Yeah.
Tiny leaps, I call them. Super slow, super tiny, but they're still leaps. So
I hear that. Well, you mentioned Marcus Printup, but who are some of your inspirations, either on trumpet or just in music, in life? Who are just some people that have kind of shaped you and inspire you?
I love Marcus. He's got this big fat sound, plays third with the Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra, and I play third with the CJO, so I was like, oh, he's my hero. Yeah. But let's see. Charlton turned me on to Harry Sweet Edison, and just love him. I like people that are accessible, since I did come from a classical background. I'm not trying to Clifford Brown and
Mm-hmm.
Dizzy Gillespie. They're just it's out of reach right now, and so I'm trying to gravitate to what is in reach and accessible. And Harry Sweets Edison has this just amazing in the pocket sweet style, and Clark Terry and Blue Mitchell, and obviously Winton's amazing, and I've been listening to him forever because of his classical background.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then as far as other instruments, I got into Keith Jarrett for a while, did some transcription of him, and Horace Silver because he's super accessible and spacey. Just things that I can follow, being at my level of improv right now.
No, I hear that. I guess that's advice. That kind of leads me into my next question. That's advice that I took away just now for younger students who may need some advice from Miss Handel, or who may want that. Finding things that are accessible to you, finding tools and solos and transcriptions that are accessible for you in order to keep growing. Besides that, what are some tips, tricks, advice maybe that you would give to a developing musician?
I would say to hi girl. Oh, my girl snuck in here.
Yay.
Hello.
Babies, tell us, who are your sweet babies?
Okay, here. Hey, well, I'm gonna introduce you, and then you gotta go because I gotta finish. This is MJ.
Hey.
She's waving. How old are you?
4.
4. This is Harper.
Hey, Harper.
How old are you? How old are you?
5.5.
5.5. That's right. We've been doing some corn tunes, haven't we?
I love keeping up with you all on social media about that.
Thanks. It's fun. And girls, if you're gonna be in here, you gotta, you know the rule, right? Mm-hmm. All right.
Is that the advice that you would give a trumpet player or a musician to?
Actually, yes. The whole concept of resting, super hard to get, right? When if we're talking about like beginning improv, but I like to help kids understand that if you start now, just start listening, just start playing around with even one note, and just a rhythmic motive on one note, and then we'll add the second note of the blues scale just so slowly. Because I thought, you see all these books, there's a lot of experiencing jazz styles, concise guide to jazz. I thought I could find the answer in a book, and that was just the wrong way to go. So I wish I had started with the blues, started super simple, and just I wish that I knew that doing one small thing each day was good enough and would get me to where I wanted to be, instead of thinking that I had to sound like Blue Mitchell on the first week that I tried to improv. So
those little goals like you were talking about earlier.
Tiny leaps. Yeah.
Tiny leaps. No, I think it's great. Just to get to know you a little bit more, what's your favorite food?
Ooh. I love anything with cheese in it. Just love cheese. Makes me feel horrible, but I eat it anyway because it's so delicious. I love me some butter chicken. I did a lot of traveling and had some good butter chicken all over the world. So love that Indian dish. And just cheese.
You were talking about traveling the world a second ago. Where would you go if you could go anywhere right now?
Oh gosh. With Michael Bolton, I went to 47 countries. So
47 countries?
It's pretty amazing. Super grateful for that. Best education you could get. But with Blast, I spent about a year in Japan, and fell in love with Japan. So my girls know that the first place we visit, when we get the resources and time, and when they're a little older, will hopefully be Japan.
That's beautiful.
They talk about going to Japanese all the time. There's many toys at Japanese. That's right.
Yeah. No, thank you for giving us that. What about ways for people to find you? If people wanted to keep up with you on social media, or just look you up on like a website or something, how can people find Cameron Handel?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Cameron Handel. My main Facebook page is Cameron Handel. I've got a music page, Cameron Handel. Kind of too many pages. But I do have a music page on Facebook that I'm gonna start getting back into. Kind of took a hiatus with the corona, and a goal during this time is to revamp my website. Right now it's musicbycameron.com, but it's filled with tour dates for Michael Bolton that was 6 years ago. So,
Right. So, I mean, this is a time to kind of update all that stuff. You have a little
yeah.
bit of time
So
to revamp.
hopefully I'll get it all updated. And but we play, our Saltwater Brass plays at the Poorhouse and Forte Jazz Lounge sometimes, and all that. So hopefully all that'll come back.
It will. Let's speak positively. We know that.
Right.
It will. It will. Well, in the meantime, Cameron, we hope you and your family stay safe and